Hey, am I live? Am I here? Are you here? I'm here. Are you here? Hey, I know it's Sunday. I know you guys are already watching the football game, and I promise I tried to get here earlier. I really did. But when I tell you that the bottom dropped out, it dropped out today. But the whole bottom didn't, because it could have been worse. But it started drizzling, the bottom started coming out. But it's all good. So I'm here now, and I'm so glad that somebody's here. Who's here? Please, I saw a like. If I can see a comment, that would be great too. But Alexa, stop playing music. She was keeping me company. So, hey, I'm here. It's Dr. Naita, 20 questions with Dr. Naita. I have my little bucket here. And we still have a gazillion questions in here. So we still have lots of orange questions, which are the personal ones. And then the yellow ones, I think, are more business, career, educationally focused. And then the white ones are more spiritual based. So with that, let's get started. I hope everyone's having a great evening. So let's jump right in. 20 questions with Dr. Naita. So again, thank you for joining me. So I have my first one. My first one says, how do you balance being a single woman of faith, a woman in ministry, and trying to date? Who said I'm trying to date? Okay. Yeah, that is quite a balance. That is definitely quite a balance, and being a woman in ministry and trying to date. It's, yes, it is quite the balance. It is the balancing act. I think first and foremost is that I know what, at this point in my life, I kind of know what I want at this point. And with that, I've also had quite a bit of experience in life and everything. So I kind of just bypassed a lot of the foolishness. So there are just some things that are absolutes that have to be in a man who wants to spend some time with me. So, he does have to be a man of God, a man of faith. But he also has to, be someone who, understands life and enjoys life and can balance his faith with his career, with his own personal walk, and understand that I am a woman who is actively involved in the ministry, and the ministry does take time. It takes time in that I have to spend time in study. It takes time that I have to spend time in worship, and then there's work that I have to do. So, I think the biggest thing is just recognizing that I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of spare time. So for me to balance everything means that, I kind of compartmentalize different things. Okay, this is my time to hang out. This is my time for ministry. This is my time to, spend time dating someone, spending time with someone. So for me, it's all about planning and time management. That's the biggest thing, is time management. And so that's why I have to have somebody in my life who's busy also. Because if you one who's sitting on the couch with your remote control waiting on me, that's not gonna work. You have to be somebody who is busy. So I cannot tolerate someone who's just sits on the couch all day. That's not going to work for me. So again, the question is, how do I balance it all? It's all about time management and recognizing that I have some absolutes in my life. And, if someone wants to be a part of my life, they also have to be busy. And then we have to coordinate our calendars. And, it's not about quantity. It's all about quality and how we're going to spend our time together. So I hope that answered that question. That was a good one. That was a good question. All right, here's one. Being in a blended family is extremely difficult. How did you make a blended family work so well even after divorce? That's a great question. And yes, I did. From what I'm understanding, I had a very unique situation, because when I hear some of the horror stories of blended families, I'm like, oh my God, really? So no, we didn't have that experience. I had a wonderful, wonderful experience. I love my kids. I love their biological mother. We are, what do we call ourselves? Wives-in-laws, ex-wives-in-laws. We made up some crazy title for ourselves. But we had a wonderful relationship. And look, and even get this, when the kids were playing football, we had one at Vanderbilt and one at the University of Arkansas. And we would, when I say we, she, myself, and Nia, we would literally get in the car and drive hours upon hours to go to these football games, cross all state lines. We would travel. It would just be the three of us, for 6 years. Well, I did it for 5 years. So we had a wonderful relationship. And how do you have a relationship like that? To have a blended family. I think from the very beginning, I think she was comfortable being the biological mother. She was comfortable because she knew I love those boys. She knew those kids were safe when they were with me. She knew beyond a shadow of a doubt she didn't have anything to fear about the kids being with me. So I think that was the first thing, is recognizing that I love the kids, and we always put the kids first. And even after divorce, she and I maintained that relationship because we wanted all the kids to stay together. So there were many times that their father just wasn't quite on the same page as we were. So she and I just, bypassed him, and we just got together and we coordinated activities and things to make sure that the kids were together. So there would be times that the boys wanted to go spend the night over their friend's house, and they said, yeah, you can go stay with Naita and Nia, and that's just the way it was. So I think to make it work well is to make sure that you put the kids first. When it came to the blended family, recognizing that as a step parent, it's just your role is to step in when one of the parents could not do something. It's not to take over. You are not the mother. You are not the father. You are to step in when something occurs, and you have to go pick up your kid. Neither one of them can pick up the kids at that time. You step in as a step parent. There'll be times that the kids are mad at both the parents, and that's fine. They have someone that they can come and talk to. But look, you'll never disrespect either of your parents in my presence. Not on this watch. I don't play those games, So we can talk through the situation. We can talk about the situation, but you will not talk about your parents or disrespect your parents even behind their backs, So I think that, I think both of the biological parents knew that the kids were safe with me. So that always made such a great, great relationship. And till this day, we are still ex-wives-in-laws. I remember one time, let me tell you this was so funny. We were, one of the boys, I think it was Javante, he was being recruited. All the coaches were looking at him. It was his senior year in high school. And we were at a game one day, and the coach from Liberty University, he came over and, wanted to talk to the parents and what have you. So he was talking to Olivia, and she said, okay, well, this is his other mother. And the coach was like, oh. We was like, no, we don't mean like that. We don't mean like that. We both were married to the same, the same man, and, so, it became a big joke, but, we've just always had a great relationship built on respect, mutual respect, and absolute love and admiration for the kids. So I hope that answered that question. Anybody have a comment about any of that? I see different people watching. Hey, Chucky, how are you? I hear it is burning up in California right now. You guys are under some new supersonic heat wave. All righty. So that was a great question about blended families. So here's another one. Oh my goodness, who is your favorite comic book superhero? I didn't have a comic strip superhero. I didn't read comic strips, where when I was growing up, nobody in some red tights was going to be flying through my neighborhood, not my neighborhood, with some red tights and a cape. And so that wasn't happening. So I never read comic books, and it was really funny because I had some of my younger friends. We were all talking about comic strips and stuff like that, and I was like, I've never even seen one. The first comic strip hero whatever movie that I ever fully watched was Black Panther. Sorry. So they talking about, well, we're gonna have a superhero night. No, we not. I don't do it. It's just nothing that I ever, watched or was a part of. So, sorry, I don't have a superhero or comic strip hero. Sorry. All right, let's go to a yellow one. It says, how do you, as Naita, live bravely? So I believe when the person is asking about living bravely, I think they're talking about taking risk and trying new things. I think for me, I know for me that living bravely has always been, to some degree, with great calculation. Meaning that I am notorious for making plans and schedules, and I'll do a spreadsheet. I remember when I was going to have surgery one time, I made a full-out spreadsheet of everything I needed different people to do and to bring. You're going to bring me this food, and you're going to bring this, and then you'll pick this person. You'll pick up Nia at this time. And, I do a whole stretch. I'm going to plan it all out. And that's really still how I live bravely. Even, I have some things planned for the next 3 years, the next 5 years, and so on. So for me, living bravely means creating a plan and, just kind of mapping things out. So do I ever do things spurred of the moment? Well, yeah, kind of. Yesterday, I took a drive and I ended up out somewhere going towards St. Augustine, and I ended up in some stores that I had never been to before, and I was like, oh, I like this, and I like this, and I like that, but when I left the house, I did not prepare to go shopping. I didn't. I was just out driving around. So I refused to buy anything. Can you believe that? I actually refused to buy anything. So I took some pictures and then I came home and I thought about it and said, what do I really want? And I went back today and I just picked up a couple things. And it was a good thing because after that, when I tell you the bottom fell out, it fell out. So that's how I live bravely. I make plans. I pray about things. I ask God to lead me and guide me. I'm, if someone wanted to, no, I'm not going to say that, but I follow a lot of rituals and routines. I really do. I follow rituals and routines. I do the same patterns, the same set, the same routines so that I can accomplish the goals that I am trying to accomplish. So Chucky asked me, how are you? I'm great. I'm doing well. All is well, Chucky. I hope to come home maybe by the end of the year, if not definitely for spring break. But all is going well, and I hope everything's going with you and the family, and everybody's doing fine. All righty, let's go to one more. Let's try another yellow one. See what this is saying. Oh, thank you. It says, how have you learned to embrace failure? Child, that's the story of my life. I try things off. Like I make a plan and that plan didn't work. Boom. It has crashed and burned. I have crashed and burned many times. And for me, it is what it is. That didn't work. Try something else. And that's just that's just the story of my life. How do I embrace failure? I embrace it as a part of life. It's a learning process. I don't like it. It hurts when it happens, but I always try to take the time to learn. Okay, what could I have done better? What could I have done differently? How could I have fixed this? What could I have said differently? I always, go through that process so I don't have to go through this pain again. But failure is just it's a part of life. Just get out there and let's do it. And if it doesn't work, then let's try it. Let's tweak our plan and let's try something differently. So that's how I embrace failure. Alrighty, that's another one down. We're on a roll. I'm feeling good. Alrighty, let's go to one of these white questions. Let's see. Any comments? I see Tamara there. Hello, beautiful. How's the baby? All right. What made you decide to be an educator? And I've shared this before many times. I became an educator because I wanted to help young people before they got caught up in the court system. So before I moved to Florida, I was working in the criminal court system in Los Angeles, California, and I just saw so many young people caught up in the criminal court system. I was like, this is ridiculous. It makes no sense. And I said that, if I ever got the chance, I would, work with young people before they came to the criminal court system. So when I moved to Florida, I originally started as a case manager, and I've shared this before, that, I'm from Los Angeles. We have street lights and curbs and sidewalks all throughout our city. So when I moved to Jacksonville and they had dirt roads and street lights hanging from ropes and stuff, I was in a culture shock. I truly was. So as a case manager, I had to do house visits. And if the house was down the dirt road, I wasn't going. And I would put on the paper, people weren't at home, family not at home, okay? Lying. So after about 2 months of that, I said, these people are going to fire me because I'm not rolling up in just everybody's house. It just is what it is. I'm not doing it, period. So don't be laughing at me. So after that, I said, and I was working in the school setting. I was a case manager in the school setting. And I said, well, let me try this teaching thing. Maybe I'll have better luck as a classroom teacher as opposed to a case manager. So that's how I ended up teaching. And it was a great fit. I taught for about 7 years in the middle school setting, and then I transitioned over to the college setting. And I teach part-time at the college, but I'm the program administrator for my meat and potatoes, my day job. So that's how I became an educator. So it wasn't I didn't just wake up as a little kid and say all my life I want to be a teacher. No, I said all my life I wanted to help young people. And I wanted to help young people because I was one of those misguided youth who just made a series of mistakes and bad choices. And, I tried to live out what I saw was going on around me. And that wasn't always good. So now I am committed and I am dedicated to opening new doors and charting new pathways for young people so that they can find their level of success and reach their full potential. And that's my commitment to young people. And that's how I became an educator. Alrighty. Let's see. Are there any? You know what? That's all the white questions that I have. So I guess we'll go back to one more orange and we'll call it a night. So, hey, Rod, I see you. Alrighty. How do you show someone you love them? Ooh, okay. How do I show someone I love them? For me, like I've said earlier, that I don't have a whole lot of time. So quantity is not what I have a lot of, but I definitely have quality. So I try to make sure I let the person know through my actions that that they are thought about, that they're on my mind, even though I may be busy and running around doing different things. I like to send little notes, do little things to let them know that I'm thinking of them. In addition to that, I try to find out, what they like, because it's not always about, it's like understanding someone else's love language. It's not just about me showing you that I'm thinking about you or that I love you through my language. I have to know that person and recognize how to touch that person in their heart, how to creep into their heart, and, walk around in their brain all the time. So those are the little things that I try to do is first, you really get to understand that person and how that person receives love, or how they speak love. And then I try to meet them where they are, because it's not just about me. This is what I like to do, so this is how I'm going to show you I love you. That's foolishness. That's an old way of thinking. You have to be able to understand how they receive love and how they recognize love, and meet them where they are. Hey, Elder Rosemary, Pastor Rosemary Winbush, one of my favorite mentors in the whole wide world, who I spoke to a little while ago, who helped me climb off the ledge. So I told you, when I told you the bottom had dropped, it's dropping. It's not the whole bottom, just part of the bottom. Okay, for real. This is my last question. And it says, what obstacles did you encounter as a mother and educator? Could you give an example? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm hard on teachers. I am. Oh my gosh. If my kids ended up with a teacher who is just lazy, or a teacher who's not doing their job, or an administrator who is not following up, oh my gosh, I am mean. I am, because I know as a parent, I am the parent every teacher wants to have, in their class. When I would go out on chaperoning with students on field trips and stuff, I used to call myself the super chaperone. Okay, I'm the super chaperone. So I'm going to give you the support as a parent to an educator. I'm going to give you all of the support you need. If you need something in your classroom or resources and stuff, I'm going to be the one who helps fundraise and all that thing. But then you lazy or disrespectful, you mistreat young people, you then have a problem on your hands. Oh my gosh. So I think that's probably a big obstacle that I have had to deal with. It probably others had to deal with more than me. But so it says, give an example. I remember when Trey was in the 7th grade, and he was going to one of these magnet programs, and the teacher, she was just mean to Trey all the time. And I think Trey, he should have been wearing his glasses or something, and he wasn't, because he was in the 7th grade. So, he was in that 7th grade behavior, because 7th graders, they kind of, especially boys, they kind of lose their mind. So, so he was having some issues too, and we were trying to stay on top of him. And anyway, she just got out of pocket, and I had to put a letter on her. And anybody who knows me knows that I can beat you with a pen, okay, an ink pen, okay, I can get you. So I had to put a letter on her, and she was, after that, she was like, no, I don't ever want him back in my class again. And I was, okay, whatever. But that's, definitely, an obstacle that I have to overcome as an educator, is that when I see other teachers just not doing their job, that is a pet peeve of mine, and I can go all in for that. So I don't know what to say about all that. So that's the end of that. So that's the last of those questions. Any more questions? Do I need one more? Or yes, I made it. Gary Williams said, oh, I see you made it. Yes, Gary, I made it. He was one of the people who called me and said, are you coming on tonight or what? So I'm here, and I am so glad I did. Thank you all for stopping in, for stopping by. I do ask for your prayers. I'm going to hit the road in the morning. Something happens, so I got to hit the road in the morning. So please, keep me covered under your prayers. And but all is well, and I am just so thankful that I have you all that I can talk to. I appreciate you. And thank you again for logging in tonight for 20 questions with Dr. Naita. So have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Love you. Thank you. I'll be safe, Elder.